Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I stand before you today to remind you of a truth that life often tries to make us forget. Our struggles are not the end of us, they are the making of us. When we walk through trials, when pain knocks at the door of our hearts, we are tempted to believe that we have been abandoned, that our suffering is meaningless. But that is not so. In fact, the very things that shake us are often the tools God uses to shape us. Think of the sculptor at work. He takes a rough, unshaped stone and strikes it with his chisel. The stone does not understand the process. It feels only the sharpness, the breaking, the loss. But the sculptor sees the masterpiece emerging beneath the surface. In the same way, when hardships strike our lives, we may not see the purpose, but God, the master craftsman, is creating something beautiful within us. Consider this: a candle's glow is hardly noticeable in broad daylight, but in the darkest room, it becomes a beacon of hope. Our struggles, though painful, reveal the light of God in ways we could never see when life is easy. The same hands that allow the night to come are the hands that place the stars within it. Your suffering is not an accident, it is a stage upon which God will display His glory. A seed, when buried in the ground, does not despair because it is covered in darkness. It does not resist the breaking of its shell. Instead, it embraces the process, and in doing so, it grows into something far greater than itself. My friends, the same is true for you. What feels like an ending is often just the beginning of something far greater than you can see. Yes, the fire burns, but it refines gold. Yes, the storm rages, but it carves rivers and reshapes the land. Yes, the trial is painful, but it strips away what is unnecessary so that the essential, our faith, our strength, our character, can shine all the brighter. And let me tell you something about God. He is the grand author, and He never lets the story end in defeat. When all seems lost, when the walls seem to be closing in, He is merely setting the stage for the greatest turn of events. What was meant for harm, He will use for good. What was taken, He will restore. What was broken, He will make whole. So today, if you find yourself in the midst of struggle, do not despair. Lift your eyes. Your pain is not wasted. Your struggle is not meaningless. The God who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. The blessings He has prepared are on their way, and when they arrive, you will look back and say, "It was worth it." Hold on. Trust the process. Your struggles are not breaking you, they are making you. And soon you will see the blessing that was hidden in the battle all along. God bless you. Pain is a sculptor, not a punishment. When we face suffering, our first instinct is often to recoil, to ask why, to seek escape. Pain feels like an unwelcome visitor, an enemy pressing in on all sides. But what if pain is not here to destroy us but to shape us? What if the very thing we fear is the tool being used to refine us into something greater? Imagine a sculptor standing before a raw block of marble. To the untrained eye, the stone is nothing but a formless mass, cold and unremarkable. But the sculptor does not see the stone for what it is, he sees what it will become. He envisions the beauty hidden beneath the rough surface, the masterpiece waiting to be revealed. And so, with great care, he takes up his chisel and begins to strike. The marble does not understand the process. It only knows the sharpness of the blade, the force of the hammer, the painful breaking away of what once felt solid and secure. Each strike removes a piece of itself, each cut taking away something it once thought it needed. If the marble could speak, perhaps it would cry out in protest, begging for the blows to stop. But the sculptor knows what the marble does not, that every strike has purpose, every cut is intentional, and every loss is bringing it closer to its true design. So it is with us. We encounter trials that shake the very foundations of our lives. We face loss, disappointment, hardship, and uncertainty. In those moments it is easy to believe we are being punished or abandoned, that suffering is simply cruel and senseless. But if we could see as God sees, we would understand that these struggles are not meant to destroy us but to remove what is unnecessary: pride, fear, doubt, dependence on the wrong things, so that our true purpose can emerge. God, the master sculptor, does not strike carelessly. He does not chisel without reason. Every hardship, every season of pain, is allowed with the intention of making us stronger, purer, and more reflective of His image. Just as a sculptor never leaves his work unfinished, God will not abandon us in our trials. He will keep shaping, refining, and molding us until what remains is a masterpiece worthy of the vision He had from the very beginning. If we resist the process, we remain as we are, unfinished, unshaped, never stepping into the fullness of who we were meant to be. But if we surrender to the hands of the sculptor, if we trust that even pain has a purpose, we will find that every hardship has been leading us towards something far greater than we imagined. The blows we feared were not to break us, but to reveal the beauty hidden within us all along. Light is always present, but it is in darkness that we truly see its power. A single candle in the middle of the afternoon goes unnoticed, its flame blending with the daylight around it. But in the dead of night, that same candle becomes a beacon, a guiding force, a source of hope and direction. Our struggles, much like darkness, have a way of revealing what was always there but hidden beneath the comfort of ease. When life is smooth, we may not feel the need to search for deeper meaning. We do not question, we do not wrestle, we do not seek. But when hardship comes, when the night falls and uncertainty surrounds us, that is when we begin to see clearly. That is when the smallest glimmer of truth becomes life-changing, when faith becomes real, and when we realize that light has been there all along. Darkness, though terrifying, has a purpose. It strips away distractions. It forces us to look beyond the temporary and search for something eternal. In suffering we see what truly matters. We learn what is unshakable and what crumbles under pressure. Friendships are tested, priorities are realigned, and the things we once thought were essential are often revealed to be unimportant. Most importantly, it is in the darkest moments of life that we see God in ways we never could before. When we are left with nothing but faith, we realize that faith is enough. When we feel lost, we find that we were never truly alone. When we cry out for help, we discover that help was waiting for us all along. God does not remove the night, but He places stars within it. He does not always take away the storm, but He is the lighthouse that keeps us from being lost in the waves. Our struggles are not evidence of His absence, they are opportunities for His presence to be made known. If you find yourself in a season of darkness, do not despair. Look for the light. It is there, and it is shining brighter than you think. The very struggle that threatens to overwhelm you may be the very thing that opens your eyes to a truth that will change you forever. For it is only in the dark that light is truly seen. A seed in its natural state appears small and insignificant. Held in the palm of a hand it seems lifeless, dry and unimpressive. Yet within that tiny shell lies an entire future, roots waiting to stretch deep into the earth, branches longing to reach for the sky, and fruit that will one day nourish others. But for this potential to be realized, something difficult must happen. The seed must be buried. It must be pressed into the cold, dark soil, completely hidden from the world, and then it must break. At first the breaking seems like an end, like destruction rather than transformation. From the outside it appears as if the seed is being destroyed, buried under pressure and stripped of its form. But beneath the surface, something miraculous is taking place. The very act of breaking is what allows life to emerge. The shell that once protected it now holds it back, and only by splitting open can the seed's true purpose begin to unfold. So it is with us. We often resist the breaking seasons in our lives because they feel like loss. When God allows circumstances to press in on us, when we feel buried under trials, grief, or disappointment, we assume that something is going wrong. We may feel abandoned, forgotten, or even punished. But in reality, what feels like the end is often the beginning of something far greater than we can see. The process of breaking is necessary for growth. If the seed remained on the surface, untouched and unbroken, it would never become what it was meant to be. It would stay small, full of potential but never fulfilled. Likewise, if we never faced struggles, if we never endured seasons where we felt buried and stretched, we would never become who we were created to be. Comfort does not produce growth. It is in the breaking that we are made new. God does not bury us to destroy us. He plants us to grow us. What may seem like darkness, like isolation or suffering, is often the fertile ground where transformation takes place. And just as the seed does not remain underground forever, neither do we remain in our struggles. In time, the breaking leads to sprouting, the sprouting leads to strength, and strength leads to fruitfulness. If you are in a season where you feel broken, take heart. You are not being abandoned, you are being planted. And in due time, what seemed like a season of loss will prove to be the beginning of your greatest growth. Gold in its purest form is not found shining in the open. It is buried deep within the earth, mixed with rock and impurities, hidden beneath layers of dirt. To reveal its true value, it must go through a process, one that is intense, painful, and unavoidable. Gold is placed in the furnace, where it is subjected to extreme heat. The fire is not meant to destroy it but to purify it. The impurities rise to the surface, and only when the fire has done its work does the gold emerge refined, stronger, and more radiant than before. Our struggles serve the same purpose. When we walk through seasons of hardship, we may feel as though we are being consumed by the fire. Pain, loss, disappointment, and uncertainty press in on all sides, and we wonder why we must endure such trials. But the truth is, the fire is not there to destroy us, it is there to transform us. Without fire, gold remains mixed with impurities. Without struggle, our faith remains shallow, our character untested, and our strength unproven. It is in the fire that we discover what is truly within us. The difficulties we face expose our weaknesses, our fears, and the things we hold onto that do not serve us. But just as the impurities in gold are burned away, our struggles remove the things that keep us from becoming who we were meant to be. Fire also strengthens. A metal that has been through the furnace is not weaker, it is stronger, more resilient, and able to withstand pressure. Likewise, every hardship we endure, every season of struggle, is forging in us a strength that comfort never could. Those who have never faced battles may seem unscathed, but they are also untested. It is those who have walked through the fire, those who have endured suffering and come out the other side, who carry wisdom, endurance, and an unshakable faith. The fire is not the enemy. It is a tool in the hands of the refiner. And though it may feel overwhelming at times, the one who placed us in the fire is also the one who watches over us, ensuring that we are never consumed, only perfected. If you are in the furnace today, do not fear. The fire will not destroy you. It is making you into something stronger, purer, and more radiant than you ever imagined. And when you emerge, you will not be the same, you will be refined, transformed, and prepared for the purpose that awaits you.